You're listening to Tea Time with Crystal.
Hello, my beautiful kings and queens. Welcome back to another episode of Tea Time with Crystal. This is episode 5. This episode is called Let's Talk Closure. So, this is the first podcast that I'm actually gonna be recording on camera. So, if you guys see this on YouTube, I apologize if I look super close up. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about closure today. It's so weird. Like every time, like I don't know why, but my topics always come to mind. Like literally during the week. Like I don't know. I feel like it's just like a sign or something. Like, okay, Crystal, we're gonna talk about this week, you know? And so, yeah, I don't know. I think some things happened this past week, and I was just like, dude, let's talk about closure. Let's take a moment to talk about some closure because, whew, that's some. I guess it'll be some tea for me to drop, you know, because I love to ask questions. And let me just say, thank you to everybody who participated this week. I truly appreciate it. I did a whole bunch of like questions, I did a whole bunch of polls and stuff like that, and so many people participated, and I was like, oh my god, okay, I see you guys. But yeah, so I don't know if it was just the topic that everybody was just like everybody just wanted their input, but shoo, I'll take it. Y'all are great. So let me just say that thank you guys for participating and you know, giving me an idea of kind of what y'all want to hear me talk about. But anyway, so yeah, so I like to give a subject and I like to just give like a personal story, I guess you can say. So it's more like we'll talk about the subject, but I'm gonna drop some tea with it, you know. So I guess we can just go off by that. So we're gonna talk about some closure, and yeah, a lot of people were down for that, so we'll go from there. So let's see. How do you feel about closure? This was the first question that I asked, and I got a lot of responses on. But yeah, again, so if you guys do not have me on social media such as Instagram, because that's where I do like a lot of my polls, my questions and stuff like that, you guys can add me on Instagram. It's at it's at MA.RIEEE09. You guys can answer all of the questions that I kind of just throw on my story. But yeah, so let's see. How do you feel about closure? So the first response that I got is it's needed for overthinkers to provide peace of mind. All right, I could feel that because, you know, I'm an overthinker, so, you know, I feel like it's something people think they may need, but really just want their chance to say how they feel. True that. I feel like closure is from within, for yourself, not for others. Someone said you don't need closure from anyone. You can get it, but be ready to hear what you don't want to hear. Can't confuse closure with rekindling. True. I feel it's important your mind, body, and soul need it. And not always wanted, but always needed. Okay. I also feel, let's see. I feel like I've always looked for it, even when it wasn't feasible, but now I see things way differently. You're not always going to get closure you want, and you can't always rely on someone else to get what you need to move on or heal. It's hard. It's a hard want, but it's not needed. Just got to seek healing, find forgiveness, and move on. Yikes. Those are really intense answers. So let me just say, it's needed for overthinkers to provide a peace of mind. So, true. As an overthinker, I feel like we start thinking of different situations. Like we start making up situations in our head, and like, what could I have done better, or what did I do wrong, or just like stuff like that. So yeah, I guess closure in a sense does help for overthinkers, but then at the same time I feel like it's true. Somebody did say it, like, you can get it, but you got to be ready for what you don't want to hear. And that's true. Like, I think some people go into situations thinking like, oh, like, I'm going to get the closure that I need, but then you start dwelling on it and you start thinking about everything that went wrong, So it's not really just you kind of just got to be ready for the things that you don't want to hear, cuz that's going to probably break you. And it's true, you can't confuse closure with rekindling, because I think some people do look at it like that. They go into these conversations with a person that they're no longer with, or this could be like friendships or anything, like thinking like, oh, we're just gonna go back to how it was, or we're gonna be on good terms, and it's like no. So yeah, you gotta make sure that you don't confuse the closure. You gotta kind of just close the chapter to that book that you're in. But yeah, I feel it's important for your mind, body, and soul. So I guess it kind of could be good for your mind. But again, I just feel like if you're an overthinker, you're still gonna put yourself in situations and think like, what could have gone differently, Let's see. You don't need closure from anyone. Yeah. So honestly, I actually read something that had said, you don't need closure, you just need to give yourself permission to move on. And not only that, but there's also things that I've read that's basically said, like, if this person left your life, like, that's all the closure you basically need. So, I mean, I guess I could kind of see from that point of view. Today, like, I have a lot of stories, a lot of relationship stories, I guess you could say, that, I don't know, I guess it's both. Like, I got closure and then I didn't get closure, so that'll be a fun story time to tell you guys, huh? Let's see. So, another question that I asked was, is closure needed? Okay, and a lot of people said yes. So, the next question that I asked is why? Why is it needed? Someone said, so I can fix myself in my next relationship and be better for them, since that person didn't want to stay. So you can heal from the hurt. Yeah, well, I mean, that's actually pretty good. I guess I can kind of relate to that, because I did that for the last relationship that I was in. I literally gave her a list of things that she could have changed for the next person, and I hope she really took that into consideration. It's the next one. You couldn't give me a yes or no option. So apparently everybody likes like the yes and no questions. They don't like to give a reason why for certain things, I guess. It said the next one, I think it depends on your growth and your ability to adjust to new beginnings. True. It doesn't help you move on. It keeps your emotions tied in a place that isn't revenant. Okay. To stop the why and ifs in your mind and heart. That's true. I guess, yeah, I guess I can agree with that. If you do get the closure, you can kind of just stop. Like, what if I did this differently? Or, you know, like, I totally agree with that. Sometimes because maybe if you hear something you don't want to hear, then you're going to be... I don't know what the end of that comment was. But okay. Next one. Why not? I feel if you ask yourself if you need it, chances are you do, but are reluctant. Yeah. Okay, if I feel if you have to ask yourself if you need it, chances are you do. Yeah, that's true. If you have to ask yourself, like, if you need closure, you probably do need the closure, but again, like, you're not always going to get it. The other party just might not be into closure, or they're just not open to it. Like, maybe it's their reality, like, damn, this is, if I give that other person the closure that they need, like, that's it. There's no going back. There's no fixing it, if ever, in the near future, you know? And I just feel like at that point, like, there really is no going back anyways. So let's see. If you don't get closure, how do you move on? Bam. All right, so I started going by fuck it. It ain't even worth it. Working on myself and making myself happy. True. I think I gained that, like, fuck it attitude too. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, what can I do? Like, it's out of my control kind of thing. That took a lot of practice. I'm not even gonna lie. That took a lot of practice. A lot of practice, a lot of therapy, a lot of sessions, group sessions, a whole bunch of nonsense. So yeah, I could totally agree with that one. I did gain a fuck it attitude. Take your control back. Yes. Forgive and let go. Feel what you feel without judgment. True. I'll take that one. Okay, this one says opinion. Accept what is and work towards something greater for yourself. Be courageous. I'm still working on that part. True. That's very true. You kind of gotta accept every situation for what it is. Like, I'm telling you, but it's so hard for us, like, overthinkers, you know? Like, what could I have done differently, you know, for me to, like, just kept this person, you know? And let's see. By speaking into the earth what you wanted to say, but into the universe, put it into the universe and it will spread. Dude, okay, so let me just tell you, I don't know if anybody has seen it. There's been, like, TikToks and stuff. It's just basically, like, people writing their, like, let go messages, like, on plates and stuff. And I did it for, I think, a year. I went to the beach. I wrote a letter. I know. I wrote a letter, and, you know, I had to let it go, you know? And that was my way of just, you know, letting go. Just being at the beach where it's peaceful and just writing whatever it is that I needed to let go of. And yeah, just putting it out there. Let's see. Write out what you would have said. Yes, I just said that. Yes, I totally agree with that. By making up scenarios in your mind. What? All right. I don't know, like, by making up scenarios in your mind, like, this could have happened instead. I'm not really sure. Forgiveness. But it's so hard. It's so hard to forgive someone. But yeah, true. That's very true. In order for you to get closure and to move on, you gotta forgive. Even though it's hard, you gotta just learn to forgive. Has closure helped you? A lot of people said yes, and some said no. And then I had asked why. So, Lord, I could relate to this. It was just hurtful, and it made me think more negativity about myself. I could relate so much on this, so bad. Yeah, I could definitely relate to that. There was nothing else we could have done, and both parties agreed to go separate ways because it wasn't working for either one of us. Okay. I'm guessing you were the yes, that closure helped you. Let's see. There's a weight lifted off me, and when I took my first deep breath, I didn't know how much I needed it. All right, so I'm guessing you're another one who got lucky, and closure helped you. That's amazing. So let's talk about closure and my experiences with closure. Let me just read this thing to you guys real quick. It says, closure is a joke. The apology you need is the one you owe yourself for staying as long as you did. Yes. The only conversation you need to have and the only person you need to see again is the person in the mirror. Look at yourself and say, you know what? I fucked up. My worth is more than that. That's your closure. You can't keep dancing with the devil and wonder why you're still in hell. Ooh, that's some fire words right there. Alright guys, so let me just tell you my experiences with closure. I don't know how way back I want to go for this though. Alright, so I guess I can give you 2 examples of me not getting closure and me actually, well, I didn't really get much of a closure for the second one, but yeah, I'll just tell you my experience. So let's see. So this was 2010, I believe. So I was dating this person. We were together for 9 months, I believe, maybe 10. This person lived with me. My family took them in, and we just tried to help as much as we could. And that's one thing that I love about my family. My family's very caring and accepting, and they love to bring in people and make them feel, loved and appreciated. So I think that's something that I love about my family. But yeah, so this person lived with me. We were in a relationship. This person cheated on me multiple times throughout the entire relationship. It was always, I'm sorry, I love you. As many times as I tried to kick them out, they would come back, and it was just a crazy situation. And the last time I found out that they had cheated on me was a very aggressive breakup. That one was intense. So let me just say, I don't know when I'll be talking about abuse and, stuff like that, but this relationship was a relationship that was a very physical abuse. I got slapped, I got choked, I got tackled. It was just really bad. And, when you think you love somebody, you stay. And I'm not telling you you guys need to stay. Don't think I'm saying like, oh yeah, no matter what, stay. No, I'm telling you guys, like, I was dumb and I stayed, thinking, I love this person and whatever, and I'm just gonna stay because I know they love me. No, do not do that. But yeah, so let me just say, so I had found out they were cheating again, and I confronted them, and they tried to deny it, and they tried to play the sad card and all of this nonsense. And so that happened, and they ended up tackling me on the floor, and I was like, what the hell? And let me just say, I've never put my hands on a partner, on any of my partners. I've never put a hand on them, but I think I was just protecting myself because I had been choked and slapped and so many times. Like, that last time that like they tackled me, I was scared. I was so scared. And so like I was like fighting back because I was like, dude, like, get off of me, like, what is your problem? And my uncle and his girlfriend at the time were in the room next to us, and his girlfriend was like, you need to go see what's wrong, like, and so after, like, when my uncle had finally went, like, we were already done like fighting or whatever, and I packed all their stuff, and I was just like, get out, like, I don't want you here, like, it was crazy. But yeah, so that happened, and so anyway, so I didn't talk to them for like a week or so, and finally, like, they reached out to me by their friend's phone, and they were just like, I'm sorry, like, can I please see you? And I was just like, nah, bro, like, I'm sorry, like, I can't, like, you really damaged me, dude, like, you put your hands on me, like, I had to be stronger, and so that was like an intense situation. But yeah, like, I never got the closure that I needed as to why they put their hands on me, or why I was cheated on so many times, or just stuff like that. So I don't know, it kind of sucked because I felt like, damn, dude, like, I really cared for you, like, why did you have to do that? Like, I don't know, it's just like, still to this like day, like, it sucked. But yeah, for a good 10 years I didn't get any closure from that relationship, and finally they reached out to me, and they were just like, hey, like, trying to talk as everything was okay. And I was just like, dude, like, I haven't talked to you in a long time, like, how did you even find me? Like, because they added me on social media, so I was like, dude, like, how did you even find me? But yeah, so they were just apologizing, and I guess I finally got the closure that that I needed. And yeah, so that happened. And but yeah, so for a very long time, like, I didn't get any closure, so I guess I guess you can say, like, it didn't make me feel good. you know, like not getting the closure that I expected or that I wanted. So it really sucked, you know, like I went a long time like just trying to figure out like where I went wrong, like, you know, what did I do to deserve to get beat, you know, or what did I do to deserve to get cheated on, you know? And for so long, like I had to go through the whole like, what did I do? Like, why me? Like, you know, why did I have to go through this? Like, you know, I cared for this person so much. Like, how do you just do that to your partner, you know? And yeah, it took 10 years because they felt so bad. They felt so bad for hurting me. And, you know, like, from what they told me, it was more like, I knew you were a good person and I knew I wasn't good for you. And so, you know, I did things to kind of push you away because I knew you didn't deserve me, kind of thing. And yeah, that's all great and all, but you didn't have to do all the things like that you did. So, I mean, I guess. But yeah, so that was that. Yeah, so I mean, I guess for us overthinkers, like, we still go through the whole, like, why didn't it work out the way that we envisioned? You know? So it's like a 50-50 for me. Like, I guess, you know, in some situations you don't want the closure, but in certain situations you do. And I think it's the relationships that you feel like you had the best bond is where you want the closure, you know? So yeah, so that was one relationship that I didn't get closure in for a very long time. And then finally, when they decided that they felt guilty and, you know, they decided like, hey, I'm just gonna swoop in and, you know, give you some closure and try to talk to you, and, you know. And by the way, that person is still a cheater, so nothing changed about them. But yeah. So let me see. So the second story of my closure experience. So let's talk about this. All right. So my second story is like probably the first. They're probably the first person where I asked to actually speak with them and just like close that chapter of my story. And let me tell you, that was so hurtful. That was such a hurtful conversation. Oh my Lanta. Like, I don't even know why anybody let me go through with it. My goodness. But yeah, that was closure. Oh my God. So yeah, so my last relationship, it wasn't all that bad and it wasn't all that great. But we just ended very poorly. And no matter how many times we would try to be friends, it didn't go as planned, you know. And I believe it's really hard to be friends with the person that you were in a long-term relationship with, because there's always going to be that emotion there. Like, and for me, I legit tried to be this person's friend. Like, she would talk about different girls to me, like, oh, I'm talking to this girl, oh, I'm gonna buy this girl this and this girl, you know, like, and I was like, oh yeah, that's dope, you know, like, I was dead ass trying to be her homie. And like she would be like, oh, I want to buy this girl a necklace, and I'm like, oh, you should, like, let me help you out, like, let me help you pick it, you know. And she would send me like all of these things, and like she'd be like, oh, what about this one? And you know, I'd be like, yeah, you should totally get that one, you know. Like I was dead ass trying to be cool with this girl, but you know, not everything works out how you expect. So anyways, so yeah, I don't know, I feel like sometimes she was bipolar, because like one minute we were good, and then the next it was like a whole switch, and it was just like, don't talk to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I won't talk to you then. But yeah, so it was very hard to try to be her friend. So when I went through a certain situation in my life, and I just had like a whole reality check. And the last couple of months that her and I were together, it was intense. My mood switched. I wasn't happy. I was lashing out on people. It was a hurtful ending. And I don't know, I had a really big reality check, and I wanted to apologize for the way that I acted, and you know, just my behavior, and you know, just give her a sense of what I was feeling. There was multiple people that I wanted to apologize to, and I actually was able to apologize to one person that was like a friend of ours. They were like the only person who was just like, it's all good, like I understand, you know, like I'm always gonna care for you and stuff like that. But yeah, so I don't know, we saw each other in May for one of our goddaughter's birthdays. And you know, her and I were talking, and she was just like, yeah, you know, like hit me up whenever you want to conversate, because I told her, I was like, dude, like I have so much to tell you, but right now is not the time to talk about it, you know, like it's our goddaughter's birthday, like let's celebrate her, but you know, I'm just letting you know, I want to sit down and talk to you, like I really want to have a conversation, just about a lot of the things that was going on. So yeah, so I was just like, I just want to have a conversation. And she's like, yeah, for sure, like we'll sit down, we'll have dinner, you know, let's just we'll talk. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I think 2 months after I saw her, she texted me and was like, hey, so I just want to be the one to tell you, like, I'm talking to somebody and I'm taking her serious. So I was like, all right, cool, like, no, like, there's no hard feelings, bro, like, it's cool. And she's like, all right, well, I just wanted to be the one to tell you, you know, so you don't hear it from other people, like you're gonna hear it from me. And I was like, no, totally, like it's all good. Like I was like, but the only thing that I ask is that we sit down and we talk, because there's a lot of things that I have to say to you, you know. And she's like, yeah, for sure, like, you know, let's get dinner, you know. And I was just like, nah, like I'm not trying to have dinner with you, bro, like I'm just trying to like talk to you about what is going on and what I'm feeling, and just apologize for a lot of the things that we went through. And so she was just like, all right, cool, like we'll just meet up at the park then. So I was like, all right, cool, let's just meet up at the park. So we ended up meeting up at the park, and that whole day I was so nervous. I was so nervous because I was like, damn, like I haven't seen her, you know, in a couple months, and I feel like I'm a puke because everything that I'm about to tell her, like, I'm scared. Like, what if she, like, lashes out at me? Like, what if she, like, you know, gets upset? And, you know, like, I was just freaking out. My hands are sweaty. Like, I felt like I couldn't breathe. And so I was like, fuck. So then we ended up going to the park, and like I was just like, look, like I wrote it down because you make me so nervous, you know? And she's like, why do I make you nervous? And I was just like, you have no idea, bro. Like, you give me so much anxiety. Like, I think just everything that we went through was so, like, there was so much, like, tension still. And yeah, so I was just like, I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget anything, and, you know, whatever. And she was like, all right, cool. And so I just started, like, the first, like, sentence, I just started crying. And, you know, like, I couldn't keep it together because, you know, this is somebody that I was in a very long relationship with and I cared for. You know, we lived together our entire relationship. We were that's the definitions of a U-Haul lesbian couple. But yeah, so I basically got everything that I needed off of my chest. And, you know, I was kind of hoping for more, I guess, from her. Like, I was kind of hoping, like, she would have told me what she felt. I mean, she told me some things, but not, like, I think I just expected more, you know? And so I just, in a sense, I felt good because I got everything off of my chest. But I remember that day, like, I told my cousin, like, dude, I'm gonna need you today, and, like, I need you to be my rock. And she's like, okay. So I drove over there, and she was like, are you okay? And I cried so much because it's true. Like, it's your reality. Like, you dead ass have to, like, accept the fact that you're saying goodbye now. Like, this is a for sure goodbye. Like, I said what I had to say, and now, like, we have to go back to being strangers, you know? And so that was such a hurtful thing for me. Like, it was so hurtful, and I couldn't believe it. Like, that was, like, the first time that I've ever had to, like, sit and talk to somebody about, you know, just ending that chapter. Everybody else, I really, honestly, like, every other relationship I didn't care about. Let me tell you guys. So I've been in relationships since I was, like, I think, like, 12, 13. And like, I've always been in a relationship, always. So it was like I already had the next person, you know, there in line, like, you know. So I never had time to heal from all of the breakups that I went through. And so with this relationship, like, I dead ass took so much time to, like, reflect on myself that, you know, it took me back. And I told her, like, I want to apologize to you and apologize for my behavior. And, you know, like, I had to, like, learn a lot of stuff. And let me tell you guys, like, everything that I talk about, like, I'm telling you because I'm learning myself, you know. So I know there's gonna be people who are going through certain things and they probably don't know, like how to react or, like, how to think about things their own way. So if ever somebody comes across my podcast and they hear, like, oh damn, I'm going through this, or, like, how did this person deal with it, you know, like, they'll be able to hear that from like my point of view, because I took so much time to work on myself. And so yeah, like it's funny now, because a lot of people are just like, dude, I see the difference. Like, I see the difference in you. And, you know, I thank you guys for noticing all of my hard work, because, sheesh, it took a lot for me to fix who I am. And, you know, just, I'm happy with the person that I am now. But yeah, so that second part of closure was one of the hardest ones that I had to deal with. And, yeah, I don't know if I could do it again, to be very honest, because that was so hard. And now, like, I'm kind of looking back, and I'm kind of just like, it's true. Like, once that person disrespects you, or once that person just shuts their doors on you, don't even bother asking for closure. That is your closure. You know, you have to kind of accept the situation for what it is, and you gotta just move on from it, because you're gonna be left hurting and still thinking to yourself, like, what did I do wrong? You know, like, why can I not be cared for by this person? You know, and it's gonna be harder for you to move on with your life, because you're always gonna think back, like, damn, this person didn't care for me, or, you know, like, why, you know? And so it's gonna be harder for the next person to come around, because you're gonna be like, nah, bro, like, I didn't get the closure that I needed. But in reality, like, you do get your closure. You know, if this person decides to block you, to delete you, to never speak to you again, like, honestly, you kind of just have to accept the situation for what it is, and keep your distance from that person, because chances are they're going to try to come back and try to hurt you all over again, and then have another excuse as to why they, like, hurt you. So just don't give people, you know, so much of an open space to do that. But yeah, so that concludes my little topic of closure. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. I truly appreciate you guys so much for just being so responsive, and, you know, participating in everything that I have on my Instagram, and you guys answering all of the questions, and yeah, just giving me feedback, guys. Like, I love it. I love when you guys answer. I'm sorry that not all of my questions can be yes and no questions. It's just because I want to know more. Like, I want to know more of how you guys feel about certain subjects, you know, and how I can relate so much, and try to help you to understand, like, why, you know, certain things are the way they are. And let me just tell you guys, like, I'm not telling you guys are wrong or you guys are right for feeling however you feel. This is just more like, I want your guys' opinions on things, you know? And it's like, I'm not gonna be like, no, you're wrong for feeling like that. No, because that's not what it is. Like, everyone has their own opinions, and, you know, everyone, you know, can think however they want to think. I'm just, you know, kind of just putting your guys' opinions and your guys' stories out there. And I'm just giving you guys, like, bits and pieces of my own story and just everything that I've been through to, you know, kind of reflect on the subject. But yeah, so I truly appreciate you guys so much for participating and giving me your guys' feedback. It's honestly truly appreciated. But yeah, so this concludes episode 5. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to this. But yeah, again, if you guys do not have me on Instagram, add me on Instagram. It's at MA.RIEEE09. And yeah, I can't wait to be back for episode 6. Let's see what the week brings me, and see what crazy topics the universe is trying to tell me to talk about. All right, you guys, I hope you guys have a beautiful night, and stay blessed.